Hello. Today I will be discussing Chapter 5 of Reading Pop Culture and Chapter 4 of the Rhetorical Analysis. In Chapter 5, in Reading Pop Culture, there are 4 articles presented in which each authors provide evidences to why they believe how the world of cable television and television platforms such as Netflix can change the way humans live. In Robert Coopy's television addiction is a year more metaphor. It talks about desire. This starts off with the concept of desires. Desires aren't bad. There's desires in human life. There's desires to do good. There's desires to be a better person. But they mention one single desire that's dangerous in human life, which is television. Television becomes an excessive part of our everyday lives, especially since as time progresses with watching television, the more accustomed humans get to the system, as he says. He provides examples as how our brain chemically it relaxes our entire body since there's no stimulation. So the more sinker we dip, the deeper we sink into television, and that's how our one desire is to keep on watching television programs, and it can lead to large levels but that's with the large levels of relaxation, people don't move away from the spot, so that's why it becomes a bad system. In Roxanne's Gays Girls, it starts talking off by the stereotypical female roles that are presented in television series, how they have to fall. There's always a category in which there if the show is about a group of girls, there's around the 5 characters and they each have a set characteristics as the character they are. One of them is too high working and stuck up, but once they really start in themselves, they're like, wow, that's so presentable. Or there's the drug addict, or there's the one who's only caring about sexual relationships. And how that's all she saw at a young age. But now, as time has passed, in a series television called Girls, it reminds gay of their own experiences as a 20-year-old because it becomes more realistic while still implementing the stereotypical characters of females. So, and to her, that's an important idea what television has to be. It has to be relatable to an audience. An audience has to be able to say, oh, I do that, or I can relate, or that's happened to me before. In Cantor's essay, Cantor goes off to explain how the Americans fall into the American nightmare, that most of the downfalls that we see on television can't happen in society, or it is in a way metaphorically talking about what is currently happening in society. It brings in examples of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead with zombies. That's a fear that everybody has. And the thing is, it's so constant that we don't help but imagine that that could happen in the near future. We don't know, in many years to come, or even as soon as possible. We don't know if that will happen, and that's what he believes that. Cantor believes that television is presenting ideas that society already thinks, and it's keeping them more clouded into the mind. In Ken Lauda's Netflix in the Future Television, Lauda brings into numbers as evidence. They're saying how Netflix began as a DVD provider where people can rent out DVDs for as much time as they want, return them when they want a new DVD, and how as it slowly grew and grew with the internet, making allowing audiences to watch their favorite television series on computers, on phones, on tablets, on any devices, their subscribers began to grow. One number that they mentioned that in 2009, Netflix alone grew from 7.5 million subscribers to 12 million. And how showing how the impact of television is transferring to another platform, how that's how we're so accustomed to having it on our handheld devices, just looking at a screen and watching the series go on and on and on. And so they're talking how, as much as television was known to be, like series were known to be on TV, now it's at a point where we don't bother looking at TV, but looking at our devices since it can be easily accessed that way. And in Chapter 4 of the Rhetorical Analysis, it talks about how evidence gives off an idea. It allows evidences that allow people to really evaluate what's given and see if it's true to as what they are saying. So in both of these 4 articles, they provide different forms of evidence, whether it be through experiential evidence, number evidence, relatable evidence, and even evidence that more science related, how it can convince a person to believe the ideas that they're saying, and how that what they present is factual, and if we find a way to get the audience more intrigued into the idea.